St. Thomas University Journalism and the New Brunswick Beacon present.
Hi, welcome to the STU Basement Files. I'm Scott Hems.
And I'm Jacqueline Gallant.
It's a beautiful fall day in downtown Fredericton.
And here are our headlines. Today we take a look at a proposed ban on energy drinks for customers under the age of 18.
And after 33 years of being in a basement, Fredericton's Devon Park Christian School is moving to a new location. The Canadian Medical Association has expressed concern over consumption of energy drinks. A ban is being proposed for any consumer under the age of 18 years old. Andrea Barsanis has more on the story.
Energy drinks are highly popular among young people, and advertisements of products like Red Bull and Monster are constantly working to attract even younger consumers. New Brunswick Health Minister Ted Fleming is calling on the province's medical officers to look into concerns about secondary effects of energy drinks, especially on young people. High caffeinated beverage, when used abusively, could land patients into the emergency room with cardiovascular problems. Fredericton Dr. Jeff Thompson says young people must be aware of the adverse effects of energy drinks.
The daily suggested dose, I guess you could say, of caffeine is about 400 milligrams. And over that threshold, patients or individuals tend to get side effects of caffeine, which is, things like nervousness and agitation, insomnia, sometimes high blood pressure, rapid heart rate, sometimes rapid and irregular heart rate.
Thompson says the most concerning part is that young people are mixing energy drinks with alcohol. Consumption of energy drinks is a public health concern due to the risk when consumed by children and young people. 57% of students say they consume regularly energy drinks. The first-year psychology student Natasha Boyd says she consumes energy drinks to increase her concentration while studying.
I get really peppy, so I'm really ready to go. I can focus in class. If things are dry, I can kind of pay attention more.
The initiative prohibits the selling and consuming of energy drinks by people under 19, after considering that they are addictive, not nutritional, and not practical for sports. Studies show that energy drinks in high doses can affect blood pressure and heart rate. For STU Journalism, I'm Andrea Barsanis.
Devon Park Christian School has found a new home in Fredericton. The local private school has spent 33 years in a church basement, but it won't be for much longer. Philip Dross reports.
Staff and students are ready to move out of the Devon Park Baptist Church basement.
I'm excited for the new school.
Actually, yes. Like, seriously. Yes. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
The school has been in the basement for 33 years, but in order for it to expand, it needs room to grow. John McAloon is the principal of Devon Park and has been a driving force behind getting a new building. Now, they have one.
It's been a two and a half year process that we've been exploring property for Devon Park Christian School, and a lot of work with the government and just exploring that opportunity, and kind of waiting for them to finish up their part with the school closing. And
South Devon moved out last December, leaving the building uninhabited. Some of the clutter still remains, and the school will need a lot of cleaning up before it's ready for students. Despite this, McAloon thinks that they can have kids learning at the school as soon as January. The 4-acre property cost Devon Park $94,000, and the school thinks it's well worth it. The changes don't stop with just a new building. Devon Park would like to start an early childhood development program, as well as after-school programs. The plans even include building a new gymnasium on the property for both students and the community.
The students here at Devon Park are excited about the change and are looking forward to moving from the church basement and into an actual school. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Philip Drost.
A new study shows that Fredericton homebuyers may not have to dig as deep into their pockets as years past, but this isn't necessarily a cause for celebration. Tess Allen has more on the story.
Prospective homeowners in the Fredericton area and their wallets can breathe a sigh of relief. According to the Royal LePage House Price Survey released earlier this month, housing prices have dropped in the capital region. Results suggest that standard condominium prices posted over a year-over-year decline, falling 3.2% to $153,000, while standard two-story homes decreased by 2.3% to $215,000. Gardner Realty Royal LePage owner Lincoln Thompson says a number of factors have contributed to the current buyer's market in Fredericton.
We're not seeing the same amount of buyers that we used to see or we're used to seeing in Fredericton. Over the last 10 years or so, our market really has been up almost every year until 2012. And we're used to going up both in terms of unit sales and pricing. So for us in this market area, we're abnormal.
National findings painted a different picture. Across the country, the average price of a home increased between 1.2% and 4.1% in the third quarter of 2013. This was certainly not the case in Fredericton. Despite a 2-year streak of declining housing prices, realtors are not too concerned. In fact, they expect to see numbers climb as early as next year. Glennis Mahaney is a sales representative with Gardner Realty Royal LePage.
We have to adjust the pricing a little bit, and if houses are actually priced correctly and they're actually show correctly, then they will sell. They will definitely sell. But if you've got some issues with it, you need to bring it to the table. You don't bring the property to the table or anything that's marketing for consumers. If you don't bring it, it ain't gonna happen.
The Royal LePage House Price Survey is the largest study of its kind in Canada. It is conducted 4 times per year. For STU Journalism, I'm Tess Allen.
A fracking protest outside Rexton turned violent early last week as 6 police cars were set on fire by protesters. Several weapons like firearms and homemade explosive devices were found on the scene. A recent press release by the RCMP stated there was an excessive amount of ammunition at a protest that was meant to be peaceful.
The St. Thomas men's soccer team took the field on Saturday for a game that would ultimately decide the fate of their season.
The St. Thomas men's soccer team came on the wrong side of a do-or-die game on Saturday. The Tommies took on the Holland College Hurricanes. With a win, St. Thomas could move into a playoff spot over Holland College. Stu was able to build pressure in the first half, but was unable to muster up a goal. The Hurricanes scored late in the first half and held off the Stu attack for the remainder of the game. The loss means Stu has to wait another season for a playoff berth.
When people think of the Northern Lights, they think of colorful lights flickering across the night sky. But in Fredericton, the Northern Lights are a group of early rising line dancers. Kirsten Schlutt has the story.
A Wednesday morning, catchy beats and shoe tapping. It's the weekly meeting of the Northern Lights line dancers at the Stepping Stone Senior Center in Fredericton. Beginners and advanced learn different line dances under the guidance of Eric Hart.
Back, 2, 3 with a hitch. 2 hips forward, 2 hips back, single hip, step and brush.
Murray Thorne has been dancing with the Northern Lights since 3 years. The Fredericton resident said he always wanted to dance, but he had to wait for a long time to make his dream come true.
I had serious back injuries years ago, and there was a lot of years that I couldn't walk.
He had signed up for dance lessons in his late teens, but then broke his back after falling off a staircase.
I never ever got up. I just gave up. I just kept right on going anyway. And I figured that someday I was going to get back on my feet. And many operations later, I did.
And so he bought a new pair of cowboy boots and joined the Northern Lights at the Stepping Stone Senior Center. Coach Eric Hart has been teaching at the center since 12 years. He says everybody loves to line dance.
You don't need a partner to do it, and you don't have to coordinate with another partner in order to make the moves, and you do it yourself. So you go out when you're ready, and when you feel like you want to dance, you can dance. You don't need to rely on anyone else.
Line dancing is not restricted to country-style music. Popular line dances are the cha-cha slide and the Cupid shuffle.
Other famous line dances are the Macarena and the chicken dance. And probably even last year's worldwide hit, the Gangnam Style, could be considered a line dance. The world's largest line dance has been recorded in China in 2009, where 17,200 people stood in one giant line and danced. For STU Journalism, I'm Kirsten Schlote.
Hockey isn't the only sport on skates gearing up for a new season. Girls on the Capital City Rollers, the only derby in Fredericton, say they can't wait to see what this year has in store for them. Paige LeClaire has more on the story.
The Capital City Roller Daisy Cutters played their last home game of the season Saturday night against the Moncton Reign of Terror, losing 145 to 316. Despite the loss, the Daisy Cutters, along with 5 other East Coast teams, are gearing up for an all-star game at the end of the month. Roller Derby has been in Fredericton since 2010, and the organizers are hoping to have more teams in the coming future. Lawyer by day and Derby girl by night, Natalie LeBlanc explains what made her join.
That I'm in is it's not a boring job, but it's a dry job. It's an office job, and I was looking for something that was going to be a challenge. So I was working out at the time at a cross-training gym, and one of the women said roller derby is coming to Fredericton, and I thought, that is exactly what I need to do. So it wasn't any more romantic than that. It wasn't any more complicated than that. I heard about it, I tried it, and I'm completely hooked, hook, line, and sinker.
Only one team out of the 6 is an all-guy team, the St. John Wheelmen. They are the only men's team in Atlantic Canada and usually have to play against all-girl teams around the area or compete out of province. Wheelmen's player Doc Rogers says he's been involved since the beginning of Derby and hopes to see another all-guy team in the Fredericton area.
Been a lot of talk. Moncton is holding a lot of strong hopes to see one out of them. Another spot would be here in Fredericton. We're hoping they do something with this. There's enough boyfriends and husbands that are involved in this that really should join so that they have something to talk about with their significant other, because once you're in Derby, it's all or nothing.
They will be divided into 2 teams for a friendly but competitive game to showcase the talent and athletic ability of the skaters in our region. Game night is October 26th at the Fredericton Exhibition Center. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Paige LeClaire.
With Halloween just around the corner, folks are not only looking for their dose of candy, but also a dose of fear. Downtown Fredericton has offered one spooky opportunity for those looking for ghostly adventures. Danielle Delalio has more on the story.
The historical Garrison Guardhouse still has someone taking his post every now and again, but this someone may not be among the living. Patty O'Reilly, who works at the guardhouse, spoke of his own personal experiences.
I'd come in and the doors would be open that I knew I'd closed, the lights would be turned on. I'd come in the mornings, hear people slamming doors as I enter.
In 1865, Queen Victoria commissioned a survey of military grounds surrounding the Garrison District. Everyone was ordered out of the buildings and off the land for 25 photos to be taken. But in each photo, one lone guard can be seen standing watch. This is the figure that is said to be haunting the guardhouse today.
You look in real close, you can see right through him. You can't reach out, you can't touch him, there's no substance to the guy.
You can venture downtown to see the ghost yourself. His photo hangs in the guardhouse, and a handprint on the stone wall marks his place where he once stood.
Perfect handprint right here on the brick. The really weird thing about it is it's always just a little bit warmer than the rest of the brick.
Legend has it the guard left his post for a party and was severely punished when he returned. The Garrison Ghost full story is being retold nightly until October 30th on Fredericton's Haunted Hike. The members of the Calathumpians have their reasons for not having the last hike Halloween night.
You will not catch me in this building on Halloween. I'm staying as far away from it as I can. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I'm not gonna risk it personally. He seems like a benevolent guy, but better not to dabble.
Although he still remains nameless, the Garrison Ghost is firmly holding his post here at Fredericton's Guardhouse. This is Danielle Delalio reporting for STU Journalism.
A terrifying yet historical tour has drawn people from Fredericton and surrounding areas. This tour offers not only a few scares, but a few laughs. Kevin Lemieux reports.
As Halloween creeps around the corner, some are getting in the mood. For a local group of actors, it's a great time for them. The Calathumpians have been around for 30 years. On top of doing summer performances, they come out in October to scare the town. The tour is filled with actual local ghost stories. Company director Will Pacey explains a bit of what the tour consists of.
We usually have like 4 or 5 guides that take you around downtown Fredericton, sort of like a lantern-lit tour of spooky areas telling New Brunswick and Fredericton ghost stories. And there's ample material for stories in the Fredericton area.
The tour takes about an hour and a half and takes you around the downtown area. Along the way, you run into a series of characters, some scarier than others. People of all ages are invited, making this a great Halloween celebration. Suzanne Carrier brought her whole family out for the evening.
Well, I find it was a wonderful evening. I find that it was good that you talked about historical things in the past that happened.
The cost is $14 for adults and $9 for children, and advance reservations are required. For reservations, email them at calthumpians@gmail.com.
The Calthumpians will continue their haunted tour on October 25th, 26th, 31st, and November 1st. It's a great way to get into the Halloween mood with all kinds of laughs and frights. For STU Journalism, I'm Kevin Lemieux.
Well, that wraps up our stories for this week on the STU Basement Files.
Make sure to tune in next time for our latest stories. Thanks for watching. For STU Journalism, I'm Jacqueline Galland.
And I'm Scott Hems. And cue the slow-mo cheesiness.